Right now, FC Barcelona is doing something no other big club in Europe does. A real number 9 tag team. Both strikers are delivering over a 50% goal ratio in La Liga. And that's even an understatement. This is no hype talk. You'll see it for yourself. So let's dive in.
Barca-Lova. 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 Barca-Lova.
With that number 9 tag team, of course we are talking about Robert Lewandowski and Ferran Torres. Now quick clarification so nobody twists this. When I say two number 9s, I'm not saying we play two strikers every game. I mean Barca rotate the number 9 role. And yeah, Ferran will pop up wide sometimes. And sometimes both are on the pitch. But most of the time, and especially this season, Ferran is a real number 9 option rotating with Leva. Now let's look at the numbers for the calendar year 2025 in La Liga. Lewandowski scored 19 goals in 29 matches. That's 0.66 goals per game. Ferran scored 18 goals in 31 matches. That's 0.58 goals per game. Just 0.02 away from that clean 60% line. So yeah, we could even call it 60%, but we are not forcing it. On this channel we keep it honest, unlike some of the penalty decisions our rivals keep getting. On paper most clubs can point out to two strikers, but in reality it's usually one guy carrying the load. And the second option is either out of rhythm, out of form, barely playing. So the question isn't, do you have two strikers? It's, can you rotate the number 9 role and still get elite output? And that's where Barca is different. Because when we rotate, the production doesn't drop, it stays dangerous. Now let me show you 3 perfect examples of teams where that kind of number 9 rotation doesn't work as smooth. Let's talk about our arch nemesis, Real Madrid. Because this is where the difference gets obvious. Mbappe has 22 goals in 21 matches. That's insane, but it also tells you the truth. This isn't a duo, it's a carry job. Because outside of Mbappe, they don't have another number 9 putting up real numbers. Gonzalo Garcia has 3 goals in 17 games. And that hat-trick only happened because Mbappe got injured and the door finally opened. And Endrick, 0 goals in 2 La Liga appearances. And yeah, he was literally wearing the number 9 shirt. But minutes were so rare, he already been loaned to Olympique Lyon. In Lyon, he's already got 4 goals in 3 games. So yeah, Real Madrid could have trusted him more. Maybe they just needed someone with balls like Flick. I mean, these balls. I'm glad we cleared that up. Now let's look at Manchester City. Of course Haaland is doing Haaland things, but the second option, that's where the duo disappears. Marmoush has 1 goal in 12 games. And it's not even like he's missing chances every week. He's barely getting minutes. And don't forget, in Eintracht Frankfurt, he was a beast. Helped them to get in the Champions League. So on paper, City have 2 big names in that number 9 zone. In reality it's Haaland and then nothing consistent behind him. Now FC Liverpool. This one is the wildest, because this transfer window, they didn't just add depth. They went shopping for number 9s like money wasn't real. 125 million pounds for Alexander Isak. 79 million pounds for Hugo Ekitike. That's 204 million pounds on 2 strikers in a single transfer window. I don't think we've ever seen that. And the numbers so far? Ekitike 10 goals in 21 league matches, not that bad. Isak 2 goals in 10 league matches. He's injured for a while now, so all the best to him. So even with record money, it still doesn't automatically become a working 2-striker weapon. It takes rhythm, minutes, a real plan. And of course, you could argue it's their first season at Liverpool. But Leva, he arrived in La Liga and was the top scorer in his first season. That's the difference. Barca's number 9 rotation produces immediately, not maybe next year. And this is where Barca's tag team hits different, because we are not rotating names, we are rotating profiles. Leva is the closer, pure striker IQ, the positioning, the timing, the finishing. He can score with either foot, he's elite in the air, and he finishes from angles that shouldn't even be chances. And he doesn't just score, he occupies defenders, pins center backs, pulls attention, and that opens space for everyone around him. Ferran is a different problem. More speed, sharper runs, and he doesn't need the same type of service as Leva. He can stretch a back line, punish tired legs, and change the rhythm of a match. And the underrated part, you can even use him as a false nine. He links play, creates lanes, and he's a genuine chance creator. Last La Liga season he even dropped 3 assists in one Clásico. So the opponent can't just prepare for the striker, they have to prepare for 2 different striker problems, depending on who starts and depending on how the game opens up. Barca don't just rotate players, they rotate problems for the opponent. So what about the numbers of our tech team this season so far in La Liga? Robert Lewandowski has 10 goals in 18 games. Ferran Torres has 12 goals in 21 games. So the 50% goal ratio is still holding up this season. This is the part people underestimate. Rotation isn't just nice to have, it's a real competitive advantage. Number 1, you're not dependent on one player. So if one is out cold or just needs rest, the number 9 role still produces. Number 2, it protects the squad. Fresh legs, sharper finishing, lower injury risk, especially with Leva. Number 3, it makes Barca unpredictable because the number 9 threat changes. Different runs, different timing, different solutions. Defenders can't prep for one pattern. Most importantly, it lets you adapt to the opponent and the match flow. Need control and box presence? Leva. Need speed, chaos and space attacks? Ferran. And when you bring one of them on around the 60th minute, it isn't a rusty cameo. It's a striker who's been playing real minutes all season. And it matters even more because modern football doesn't let you breathe. The calendar is brutal. League games, cup games, Champions League, then international breaks, Nations League, qualifiers. It never stops. And with the new Champions League format, the workload isn't lighter, it's heavier. More games in the league phase, and if you don't finish top 8, you can even get hit with an extra 2-leg playoff before the round of 16. So if you want to stay sharp deep into the season, rotation isn't some luxury, it's survival. Let's look at the Champions League numbers. Last season Leva scored 11 goals in 13 games. Ferran scored 3 goals in 11 games, and that's with him mostly coming off the bench. This season so far Ferran has the edge. 2 goals in 6 games and Leva 2 goals in 7 games. But never count out Leva. He's one of the 3 players in Champions League history to score 100 plus goals. And here's the crazy part. 2 of these 3 scored their 100th goal wearing a Barca jersey. Messi obviously, and Leva joined the club with us too. And the third guy? Yeah, we don't need to name him here. Write in the comments who the third guy was and you will win absolutely nothing. Who cares? Now here's the perfect proof that this tag team works and it's not just theory. Just look at the Supercopa matches we recently played. It's a prestigious trophy, short format, instant pressure, no time to grow into a game. In the semi-final against Athletic Bilbao, Ferran started as number 9 and he scored the important opener, the goal that set the tone in that 5-0 win. And by the way, everybody looked like prime 2009 Barca out there. Then the final. And of course it had to be against our arch nemesis, Real Madrid, a Clásico trophy game. You don't need me to explain what that means. Now Leva starts, scores the 2-1 in a 3-2 victory. The rotation works and we lift the trophy again. Last season this rotation kicked in late, basically from January 2025 when the schedule started piling up and the games got heavier. This season, because it worked, it's been here from the start. Which is why this year could be even more promising than last year. And it's not just vibes. Look at how last season ended. Both Leva and Ferran picked up injuries in the final stretch. Leva was even injured during one of the biggest moments of the season, the Champions League semi-finals against Inter Milan, the one we ended up losing. I know, it still hurts. Sorry for bringing it up. So starting the rotation from the beginning of the season could help us avoid those injuries in the most important final stretch of the season. But to be fair, it's not all perfect. Of course there's criticism as well. Believe me, I've heard it all. With Leva it's always the same. Too old, too slow, sometimes it feels like we're playing with one man less. And yeah, in certain phases you can see it. But here's the thing, a striker doesn't always have to be fast, because Leva's game is knowledge, timing, instinct. He knows where to stand before the ball even arrives. And when he's in that zone, he can finish almost blindly. And even on the days where he looks quiet, he's never really out of the game. Because defenders still treat him like a threat. They stick to him, they mark him. And the attention gives the other attackers more space to breathe and play. With Ferran, the criticism is different. He misses big chances. And yeah, it still happens now and then. But it's not like a few years ago. He's calmer, sharper, and his decision making has improved a lot. Most of the time he actually knows when to shoot and when to square it. And that's a striker skill not everyone has. So no, it's not perfect, but don't forget, last season we still won the Spanish treble. La Liga, Copa del Rey and the Supercopa, and those two had a massive impact on that. And we were this close to a Champions League final too, in the semi-finals against Inter Milan. We were ahead until the 92nd minute. We didn't go out because we were short on striker goals. We went out because we kept chasing another goal, instead of being smarter, keeping the ball and protecting what we had. Sorry, I mentioned it again, but I had to say it. So yeah, we don't just hope those two keep improving, we also hope we start playing smarter as a team. When the season hits its biggest moments, and honestly, I'm confident we will. Before we wrap it up, in the biggest match, who would you start? Leva or Ferran? Write in the comments. Team Leva or Team Ferran? And what about the rotation? Do you like it? Or do you want one clear number 9? Let us know. And last but not least, which striker should Barca sign next season? We'd love to hear your picks. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. And if you subscribe, you're helping the channel a lot. More Barca stories and breakdowns are coming. Till next time, my Barca lovers.